Hey everyone, and welcome. If you've ever looked at your houseplants and felt like there was a secret to getting them to really pop, well, you're right. And the secret is simpler than you think. It's all about what's for dinner. So let's break down how to feed your plants the right way so they don't just survive, they really, truly thrive.
It's a funny question to ask, right? Are my plants hungry? But seriously, think about it. They can't exactly tell you, but they definitely have ways of showing you. If you've got a plant that's just kind of stalled out, or it's looking a little blah, it might just be missing that one key ingredient that can change everything.
So, first things first, why even bother with this stuff? Why is feeding your plants such a big deal? Well, let's get into how fertilizer can totally unlock their next level of health.
Okay, let's just get this out of the way. Your plants can probably survive without fertilizer. But come on, we're not aiming for just survival here. We're aiming for them to thrive. Think of it this way. A well-fed plant is a strong plant. It's way better at fighting off pests, diseases, and any other problems that might come its way.
All right, next up is maybe the most crucial part of this whole thing, timing. It's not just about what you're feeding your plants, but when you're doing it. And trust me, getting this part right is everything.
So try to think about a plant's year in two big chunks. You've got the growing season, which is roughly from March to October. That's when they're awake, active, and hungry. That's feeding time. But then from about November to February, they go into a resting season. They're kind of dormant, like they're hibernating. And during that time, you need to stop feeding them completely.
But, calendars are one thing. How do you really know when the growing season has started? Easy. Your plant will literally tell you. The second you start seeing brand new leaves unfurling or new little stems shooting up, that's your green light. It is the single most reliable signal that your plant is awake and ready for its first meal of the year.
So you know when to feed your plants. But what in the world do you use? Have you seen the fertilizer aisle? It can be so overwhelming with all the bottles and boxes, and especially those 3 confusing numbers on the front. So let's just decode what you actually need to be looking for.
Okay, the very first thing you're going to notice on any package is a set of 3 numbers, something like 16, 16, 16. This is called the NPK ratio. Don't let it intimidate you. It's basically just the nutrition facts for your plant food. It tells you the percentage of the 3 most important nutrients inside.
So what do those letters actually do for your plant? It's way simpler than it sounds. N is for nitrogen, and that's all about fueling that beautiful green foliage, the leaves. P is for phosphorus, which is for building strong roots and helping with flowers. And K is for potassium, which kind of manages the plant's overall health and functions. A simple way I remember it is up, down, and all around.
Now, the good news is you really don't have to overthink this. For the vast majority of your houseplants, a balanced fertilizer, one where all 3 numbers are the same, is the perfect all-purpose choice. It just gives them a little bit of everything they need to grow happy and strong.
Okay, let's get super practical. The author of our source material here has a really cool system that uses 3 different methods. It's a fantastic way to see how you can mix and match different approaches to get some really amazing results.
And here they are. First up, you've got a natural method, like worm compost, which really enriches the soil itself. Second, there's a liquid fertilizer, something like Grow Big, that gives a really targeted boost to the leaves. And third, a balanced all-purpose food like Maxi. Now, you definitely don't need all 3, but it just shows you the different options you have in your toolkit.
And here's how that all comes together in a simple schedule. The worm compost is kind of like the foundation. You only add that once every couple of years in the spring. Then, during that main growing season from March to October, a liquid fertilizer is used about once a month. See? It's a pretty simple and really effective routine.
So, we've covered the why, the when, and the what. Now it's time for maybe the most important part, what not to do. Knowing these few simple rules can save you from making the most common and most heartbreaking fertilizing mistakes.
It's food, right? It helps plants grow. So it's easy to think that more must be better. You add an extra scoop just to be nice. But can you actually overdo it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this is probably the biggest mistake that new plant parents make. You have to remember that fertilizers are basically concentrated mineral salts. If you use too much, those salts build up in the soil and can literally burn and destroy your plant's delicate roots. It causes some serious damage.
So how do you even spot fertilizer burn? Well, your plant is going to send out some major distress signals. Keep an eye out for crispy brown edges on the leaves or leaves that are turning yellow or brown. A really big sign is a plant that's wilting even though you know the soil is wet. And another one is when new growth comes in looking all stunted and way smaller than it should be. Okay, This next rule is a big one. It's non-negotiable. If your plant is bone dry and wilting, do not add fertilizer to it. That's like asking a super dehydrated person to eat a 5-course meal. It's just too much. Always water it thoroughly first, give it a day or so to perk back up and rehydrate, and then you can think about giving it some food. And finally, you've got to think about where your plant lives. It just makes sense, right? A plant that's sitting in a bright, sunny window is working hard all day, using up a ton of energy. It's going to need more food more often. But that plant tucked away in a low-light corner, it's growing much more slowly. It needs way less fertilizer, maybe only 2 or 3 times for the entire year.
Okay, after all of that, if you are going to remember just one single thing from this entire explainer, let it be this next point. This is the big one. This is the golden rule right here. It is always safer to under-fertilize than to over-fertilize. If you're ever in doubt, just skip that feeding, or maybe use it at half strength. Your plants will absolutely thank you for being cautious. And there you have it. You are now officially equipped to feed your plants with total confidence. So go on, take a look around at your green friends. Who looks like they could use a little boost? I think you know what to do. Go give them the meal they've been waiting for.